Yes, good afternoon, my dear students. Myself, Professor Sapna Sharma from BBSA Department, Business Administrative Campus, Modern College. So, welcome back, dear student, to this MOOC Cloud Computing course once again. So, before moving to the today's session, let me just give or recommend you or recollect few points which we have discussed into the last session. So, the very first session was about the introductory session about the cloud computing. There we have studied the basic fundamental things about the cloud computing, what exactly cloud computing is, and what are the important terminologies and what are the important fundamental things that you should understand about the cloud computing. So there I have explained you about the different type of clouds that we people are having. So we have discussed so far four different type, where three are the most important one, that is public, private, and hybrid type of cloud. Then into the next session, we have done a very big comparison between the cloud community versus traditional IT market. So there we have studied how, cloud computing is very much different from the traditional IT, like the technologies or the traditional IT scenarios which were working so far. Into the third session, dear student, we have covered up with the deployment model, where we have gone through the uh, you can say the deployment models of the cloud computing, so called as public, private, hybrid. Okay, and along with that, we have also gone through the community model of cloud computing. So in today's session, dear student, we will be going through the service model. Service model play a very important role when you talk about the cloud computing. See, when you talk about the cloud computing, it is a very different kind of technology that you people are using, right? So the choice of your cloud is very much important. So first of all, you should understand the need and the requirement of your organization, and on the basis of the need and the requirement of the organization, you need to choose an appropriate cloud for it. Okay, so you have to understand what are the different expectations of your organization, and for what type of data you want that cloud so far. So uh, there is a model so called as service model in cloud computing. So what are the exactly means what we have into the service model. So in service model, we are having three different bifurcation. One is known as the IaaS, second is known as the PaaS, and third one known as the SaaS. Okay, there are total three different type of models. So let us study into the depth today. What is this IaaS so far? What is this PaaS and what is this SaaS basically? So when you talk about the IaaS, the full form of IaaS is infrastructure as a service. It is one of the important service model, or you can say it is one of the most basic level of service model also, where means here in this particular model, we are talking about the infrastructure, we are talking about the management mechanisms, we are talking about the security. Okay, whenever we talk about any of the model, any of the application, any of the the system that we want to use, so the very basic level of thing that we keep into our mind is security, and how we will be managing it, how much appropriate it would be, right? So with the help of this infrastructure as a service, we can easily determine it. So as you see over here, when you see this particular diagram, so here see I'm having the IaaS at the lower level, then PaaS, then SaaS. Okay, so at the very basic level, at the very ground level, we people are using the IaaS. So there we are talking about the virtual machines, we are talking about the servers, we are talking about the storage, we are talking about the network. So these are the very important part of any of the application for any of the the client or that anyone, right? So at the topmost position, you can see your cloud client. Your cloud client can be anything. It can be any web browser like Chrome or anything, where the client is sitting and client is searching or surfing or browsing anything. Then you can have cloud client can be any mobile application. Then it can be anything, any type of client it can be. Okay, right? So they will be using the IaaS for what? For the virtual machine, for the various type of servers, for the various type of storage areas. You can say, and for the various type of network. For example, like you people are having the Google Drive. Okay, Google Drive, that you people are having the Google Drive. So obviously the end client or the end users are accessing the Google Drive. Google Drive is nothing but it is a storage area where we people store abundant of information, right? Fine. For example, if we have made any of the application or any of the website, so what we people do, we people just host our particular website onto the servers. So your virtual machine, your servers, your storage areas, your all the type of networking protocol, you can say all the type of network would be residing inside your infrastructure. Why we are calling it as an infrastructure? Because of this infrastructure, we get an like appropriate thing in front of us, we use it, right? So virtual machine itself is an infrastructure. We people use the virtual machine so that we can do the functionalities, we can do the operations, we can conduct our own level of activities, right? When we talk about servers, so what we are doing, we are just publishing our own content, we are publishing the content of the web application or the website or any of the article, anything onto the internet. So for that we require the server, right? Server itself is an infrastructure. It is a place where we people are hosting our applications, our content, our websites and all. Then about the storage also, storage is also, in fact, it is an infrastructure where we people store the data. Then there is a network. Onto the with the help of the network, we people are easily able to communicate between each other. So you can understand how much this infrastructure as a service means. This infrastructure is provided as a service to your cloud client, to the client who are using the internet, to the client who are using the cloud technology so far. Now, infrastructure as a service is a, you can say it is a kind of, since it is a service, obviously it is acting as a delivery of the technology infrastructure as onto the demands scalable service. Like, it is a kind of service that is being provided to the users, to the clients. Okay, you can say it is a technology so far. Okay, and what is the purpose of us? That infrastructure as a service will be providing you all the fundamental resources, as I said, like server and virtual machines. These are the fundamental resources that we people require so that we can easily use all the applications, web applications, or like web content easily. Fine. So these are the resources, fundamental resources, and these are the resources without which you cannot do anything. Really, you cannot do anything. So apart from this physical machine, virtual machine, or virtual storage, there are a lot of other things also that are being provided by the infrastructure as a service. One is virtual machine disk storage, same like a disk storage that you people have into your laptops or into your computers. Then we have the virtual local area network, just like your LAN, that is the physical LAN area that you have for the networking. Then load balancers are also there. Load balancer is the concept which is also there implemented inside your operating system. Then IP addresses, that is virtual IP addresses, would be there. Software bundles would be there. So you can consider whatever you people get in a physical terms, the same thing you will be getting into the virtual terms also. So that is the most important stuff. Then when we go to the next part, this is the diagram where you can find out like how this IaaS is working. So these all are the resources that you people use it when you talk about the IaaS. So I have here a computer, then we have the virtual machine. So let us study this. See, here I have two people. One is the end user, second one is the software owner, you can say. So software owner is publishing its software onto the virtual machine. Means virtual machine is being used by the software owner. So this virtual machine is being connected with various type of storage areas. See, here I have written the virtual machine is uploaded to the storage. Okay, so basically virtual machine is being uploaded onto the storage area, right? Where we can put our particular content, where we can put our particular software so far. Okay, and here we are having the IaaS vendors, that is infrastructure as a service vendor. Then the storage, again there is a virtual machine automation over here, and with the help of this virtual machine automation, virtual machine is deployed and started. Means like virtual machine would be deployed. Deployed means what? Along with the virtual machine, we are deploying our particular software itself. Okay, we are deploying our software itself. Okay, and then we have the load balancer, and along with the load balancer, firewall is being attached. Okay, and here we are having the end users. So with the help of this firewall, we can easily get what the end user is sending and what this end user is getting so far. So anything which is not being required or which should not be sent from one position to another is being restricted by this firewall. And along with that, load balancer will always balance the load among each and everywhere, means like among the virtual machines and all, so that there shouldn't be like a kind of like load onto a specific virtual machine or onto a specific area. So this is how your IaaS would be working, right? Now, infrastructure as a service, what are the benefits, dear student? Benefit is like you have a full control. Obviously you people have a very good control. You understand when to create the virtual machine, when to deploy it, when to use it, and at what level you have to use it. So there would be a kind of full control on the resources that are being used, and they easily understand whom to grant the resources and whom not to grant the resources and all. And they are very flexible, they are efficient so far, very portable, and interoperability is also very good. They are very much legalized. Now what are the issues are there are issues with respect to the legacy security, means vulnerability could be there. Then since we people are using the virtual machine, then there can be any malicious activities. Then along with that, if you won't implement the proper firewall, if you just take a risk with the firewall, then your data can be erased. Data erasing practices can be there. Then robustness of virtual machine level isolation, means sometime you may have to compromise onto the onto the security, onto the error free or bug free kind of virtual machine. So there could be a problem with robustness, you won't be getting the error free things or bug free things and all. Now, as example are op source, then entity communication, then you have blizzards, then AT&T, then Terrymark. These are the very famous example for your as service model of cloud computing. Now let me move on to the next particular type of service model, that is the platform as a service, we can say PaaS. Okay, so since it is a platform, so from the word itself you can convey like it is providing a kind of environment. Okay, environment for whom? We are providing the environment for the applications. Okay, when there we can provide the runtime environment for development purpose, for the deployment purpose, for anything like which is all related to your application. There you can use the platform, right? And it is a very kind you can say it is a very different type of platform. It is not integrated, or it is not having a specific functionality, or it is not being designed for a specific type of applications. You can use it for the multiple usage type of application. So what exactly it is having, let us study. With the help of PaaS, dear student, we can complete our application. So it is giving us an environment where we can complete the life cycle of of any application, right from the you can say right from the uh, inception period to the conception period. Right, inception period means what? Starting with the project, building of the project, implementation of the project, and delivery of the project, you can say the entire life cycle you can perform onto the PaaS. Then see here I have mentioned one thing, Google App Engine, force.com are the example of PaaS offering vendors. Means you can say Google App Engine and force.com are the vendors who provide the PaaS as a service model. So how to use it, like developer may log on to these particular websites, means like Google App Engine, or you can say force.com, and there they can there from there they can use the built-in APIs, that is application programming interface. so that there you can make your web based applications. I can give you an example, like you must have seen the advertisement of webax, okay, where you people can make your own websites. I think so webax is there, I think so. So there you people can make your own applications. Like own applications means specifically I'm talking about the website, because it is having multiple templates onto it. So you can choose your template onto the basis of your requirement, your portfolio, what exactly you want to develop so far. So you can choose your own template. You can make it as much as dynamic you want. Okay, and second type of platform that we people are having is the WordPress also. There what we need to do, we can make an web applications with the help of APIs. Means we can download the APIs and we can club the APIs and we can use it. In the same manner, in platform as a service also we can do the same thing. We can make the whole applications, we can use built-in APIs so that we can have a very good web-based application so far. So it is not a traditional way of making any application. It is the smart way of making any applications. Second, next is like when you talk about, for example, like you want to write an application, Python against Google API, using Google API engine is likely to work only in that environment. Node vendor lock in is the biggest problem in PaaS. You are restricted, to one specific zone, right? Whatever environment you are making, you need to understand that environment needs, then only you can build your own application. You are not allowed to do any cross platform, or you can say, right? So see, in this particular diagram I have two things. I have one developer and I have one particular the application user or a business user, you can say. Then here I have the various kind of services, such as data security is there, then recovery is also there, hosting of the application is also there, then scalability means enhancing your application infrastructure. Then along with that, then we have the uh, IDE, that is integrated development environment, that is same like your Java. Your Java is also having the IDE. Because of this ID, we people try to make an application which are platform independent, they are not platform dependent so far, right? So we are making such kind of an application with the help of IDE. And after using this IDE, we people are able to make the business application, and these business applications are being used by the business users, right? Okay, so this is how your platform as a service will be working. So when you talk about the data benefits, benefit is you have to invest very low administrative things, because that won't be creating any problem. Then lower total cost of ownership, then it has a very good scalability, and there won't be any problem with the scalability. And they always work in a current trendy environments. Means you would be always making the softwares which are not only suitable for the current, but yes, for like your future perspective also. Then portability is an issue. Portability can be an issue if you want to change from one platform to the another, that can be a problem. Then here you have to work as per the processor scheduling. Like processor scheduling के ऊपर dependent रहता है pass, because it is a platform, right? So whatever you're trying to make, you need to understand the concept of your processor also, right? You need to understand the concept of your CPU, what type of scheduling it uses. As you know, their CPU is having a different type of scheduling. Like round robin is there, then first come first serve base is there, then shortest job first is also there, then priority, what exactly scheduling scenarios they are using, so you need to understand that also. And security is also kind of issue. See, since portability ka issue is there, security with respect to the environment of the application could be a reason where the people are lacking behind over there. Next is when you talk about the PaaS example, Amazon Web Service is the PaaS, like it is a very good platform. Then Salesforce.com, very famous, it is a cloud technology that everyone is using. Azaru, Azure is a very famous, you can say, Joint, then Rockspace. These are the, like, among all them, I would say, like, Amazon Web Service, then Azure, and then Salesforce.com. These are the very famous PaaS service as a model. They are very famous, platform that are being used by the people majorly nowadays. Next, if you talk about the last service model, that is nothing but software as a service, dear student. It is one of the most important kind of, like, in scenario there we called it as a software as a service. So what is the purpose behind it? We have studied the infrastructure, like, overall, then we have also studied about the runtime environment. Now it is the time for the service, for your software so far. So we use the SaaS model. With the help of the SaaS model, what will happen? It will allow the use software application as a service to the end user. Means end user would be using the software application as a service now, right? Similarly, like, we people were using infrastructure as a service, then platform as a service. So why not software? Because inside the infrastructure also we are having the software, inside the platform also we people are having the software. Then why not to create software as a service, software application as a service? Like, for example, you people use the Facebook, Twitter, then you have the Instagram, then you have the WhatsApp, then you have the Amazon, right? You use so many web applications, software applications, so why not to make those application as a service? So software that is deployed on a hosted service and is accessible via internet. This is the very basic knowledge that you people understand, right? You people make any application or any of the website, then what you people do, if you want that this particular software and application should be used by each and every person, multiple people, you can say, where where your targeted audience is quite big, you want that majority of people should use it. So what do? You take that application and you host it onto the internet, right? That is there is a website, there is a site, dear student, godaddy.com, right? Where what you people are doing, you people are purchasing the domain and you try to host your particular website. Not you try to, in fact, you're hosting your application over there. Okay, once you host your application onto the on some specific domain, on some specific server, then what happened? Like, majority people will come to know about that, right? One by step they will come to know. But yes, it will be it will be viewed by the people who are accessing the internet. So software as a service helps a lot into that. So there are several SaaS applications. So I have billing and invoice system is there. Then CRM, very famous example, customer relationship management type of application. Then we have the help desk application. We have HR solutions also. So these are the very famous type of SaaS applications that you people can go for a SaaS as a service providers. Now, what are the benefit of the SaaS, dear student? When you talk about the SaaS, so it is it is one of the uh, modular type of service that is being provided by the cloud computing. You can say it is one of the very famous, modest, you can say, modular type of tool that is being used by the people, and it is very much good, and efficient use of software licenses. Means it make use efficient use of the license which are being provided for the software. Then management is also good, then data management is also good, and the platform which is being used for the SaaS is being managed by the providers who will be providing you the service. Then it gave you a vivid type of solution so far. Now, the issues that you people can face is browser based type of problem. It could be a risk, sometime we people have hosted our application so far in a very good manner, but we are not able to fetch it. There are a lot of issues with respect to the browsing technologies and all. Then they have the network dependency. Means they have a strongest network dependency. Means they must be belonging to some specific network only. So there is a hurdle where software as a service could be a kind of reason where it can where it is lacking somewhere out. Then portability is also a kind of problem. If you change your SaaS cloud, Means you are currently onto another SaaS cloud and you want to change your cloud so far, want to go to the different type of SaaS cloud, then portability may be the problem. See, you can easily host it from one platform to the another, but after hosting, how they work, that could be a problem, right? That is known as the portability. Means you have tried to change, but the things are not working properly. Okay, out of 20 things, only 10 or 12 things are working. That means what, somewhere something is lacking behind. So you need to understand all the disadvantages, advantages, and then you have to decide whether to go for it or not. That is the most important aspect. These are the example of the SaaS. As I have mentioned prior, salesforce.com is a very biggest platform, dear student. It is being used for the PaaS and it is also being used for the SaaS. Then we have the Google apps also. In Google app we have a lot, like Gmail is there, then Google Talk is also there, and along with the Google, we people are having the Microsoft online services such as SharePoint online, then Exchange online, then Office communication online, Office live meeting online. You have a lot of stuffs. Okay, then you have Facebook. Facebook is also using the SaaS. It is also using the SaaS service model, dear student. And that is why, see, all these people are using such a huge platforms. They have converted their rigid platform into the cloud platform, so you can understand like what a big step they have taken. And this big step would be like, it has changed the marketplace for these particular, like, companies. It has helped these companies to, like, to become one of the most popular type of companies, and they are very much leading into it. Now, when you talk about the cloud, do you people use cloud? Yes, we people use the cloud in various terms. Where we people are not using, we people are using the cloud everywhere. You can find your cloud where you are not able to find out the cloud, dear student. Everywhere you're finding out the cloud. You find the cloud into YouTube, Netflix, everywhere you can see your particular cloud. Okay, so when, see, cloud, with the help of the cloud services, you people gain a lot of advantages. The advantages could be like, you your computer cost goes down, your like, performance get increased. You people, you can say software cost also decreases so far. Then improve document format compatibility, yes. Then yes, this is the most very important stuff, that is storage capacities. You have unlimited storage capabilities. You can rely on to it. If I use the Google Drive, I don't think so any kind of, like, misplace or, like, malicious activity or mischievous kind of thing I have ever experienced. So it is also working properly. You won't like, lose your data, or trust onto your data. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Then you can access any of the document from any of the specific place. You just have to log into your particular account and you can use the cloud services so far. And it is always up to dated, means you will be always finding your particular cloud into the latest version. Then there is no device dependency so far. ऐसा नहीं है कि, like, I am using my cloud from my laptop, so I cannot use it from my mobile phone, or any device specific things are being required. No, it is never ever said. And so you have the understand, but there are certain level of disadvantages of the consolidated service model. Internet connection is very much important. You cannot work onto the like, cloud service model with the help of load speed, no. And since it is, like, it is an emerging area, a lot of things are, like, still developing, and it will be developed fastly. So you can say features are a bit limited, but yes, we can assure that features will be abundant once the things like, boost more and more. Can be slow, and it can be slow just because of the internet connectivity. Stored data can be lost, yes. In the worst case scenario, you may consider this thing. Security could be a case if you don't keep an eye check onto the security. So you have to explicitly implement the security. They are having the security, but that is not that much great. You people have to make it. So for that, you have to make sure that whatever like, the security perspective that you are using, it is up to date. Fine. So from this particular session, I hope you would have got a lot of information and advantage, and you would have gathered a lot of information from the session regarding the service model, and why at which particular place we should use the different type of service model, in which scenario we should use the infrastructure as a service, in which particular scenario we should go ahead with the platform as a service, and in which particular scenario we have to go for the software as a service. So I hope this particular session would add a knowledge into the content of the things that you people are already having. Thank you so very much for attending the session. See you into the next session. Thank you.